Happy New Year. How are you? Welcome. I am getting ready to start reading about our passion today. My New Year commitment that I've made is to shift my content to helping you figure out how to pursue your passions. Hi! Because we have been watching so many readings. Happy New Year's to you. We've been watching so many readings saying, oh, he's coming back and you're going to get some abundance and you're going to get all this stuff and it's there for you and it's there. And it's just day after day after day after day after day and nothing is happening and there's no movement and there's no communication and you're just constantly waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. And nothing's happening. And so there's a reason for it. And the reason is that you are the divine masculine and you are the divine feminine in one. And your divine feminine energy, your emotion and your creativity and your passion is waiting for you to take action. It's waiting for you to communicate and express the feelings you have, the joy you have, the delight you have in some area of creativity in your life. And if that's not your main job, if that's not the thing you're pursuing right now, then you're going to keep getting readings telling you that the masculine is coming back. There has been this feeling that when that person comes into your life is going to just open up like a flower. But you are the one that's going to open your life up like a flower. And what does a flower have? It has nectar. And nectar attracts the bees, right? That's what has to happen in your life for you to come into union. And if there are readers out there that are just telling you that you're supposed to wait for union, they are missing the whole point, which is that you as a person are the divine masculine and the divine feminine, and you're not supposed to wait for anything. You're supposed to make your life the life that you desire. And if the only thing you desire in life is a relationship with a person who's emotionally unavailable, your life is going to be very bleak because you are not emotionally available to yourself. You are not really going in to your heart center and finding what makes you tick and pursuing it. And so that is what my account is going to focus on now. I have focused on the divine masculine and feminine journey for 3 years. It was beautiful. I definitely attracted a lot of people who are at the same place that I am at now. And we are shifting our energy from listening to readings about him coming back and coming back to ourselves in a real way. Not in an annoying way where I'm going to be like, just focus on self-love. But in a real way where I'm going to be like, what does that look like? What does that entail? How do you do that? How do you get to do the things you love to do? And I'm uniquely qualified to speak on this topic, whereas I'm not that qualified to speak on coming into union with a person because I'm still learning how to pursue my passions, prioritize and choose myself and my passions. So welcome to the new year. Welcome to the new you. Let's get into it. I'm seeing somebody asking what is a PRYR, which is short for a prayer. Basically, it means that you have subscribed to my channel. And if you are a subscriber, you do have the luxury of receiving 2 cards on any question that you may desire to ask. Or if there's a theme for that day, you will receive 2 cards on that theme for that day. Anytime I see you live while you have a badge. So if you only get a 1 month subscription for 30 days, anytime you catch me live, which I usually go live about 6 days a week, whenever I'm doing personal readings, you will be able to get a reading. If you choose the recurring subscription, same deal. Every time I see you, you'll get a reading. It's a way for me to show my appreciation for those of you that are supporting my channel. And if anybody would like a personal reading today, a deep reading today, it is $33. There's a link in my profile, Venmo, PayPal, or Cash App. I do not answer free questions because this is my job, and so I support myself with my readings and my music, which is my passion. Okay, so let's talk about it. Hey there, Texas honey. Happy New Year. I didn't see you yesterday. I hope you're doing well. I'll be sure to pull your focus for the new year because we did that last night. So I'll definitely hit that for you. But first, let's talk about the very basic thing, which is many of you already know your passions. You already know what you want to do that's not like a day job. That's something that's you kind of dream about, but you're like, that'll never make me any money. And some of you actually don't know that. Some of you are in a place where you're not exactly sure what you would pursue, and you've not given it a lot of thought, or you kind of get freaked out when you try to give it thoughts, and there's just so many opportunities, options, things, places you could go. A lot of us have to overcome that desire to just pursue something that is for money alone. And so I'll ask people a lot of times like, oh, if you could do anything, what would it be? And they'll be like, sit on a beach. And I guarantee that sitting on a beach is going to be great for like maybe even a few months, but eventually you'll probably get sick of it. Like there'll be some urge you have, and it'll feel unfulfilling to just be relaxing. But a lot of times we have that feeling that we just need to relax because we've been so stressed about making money. And so it's really good for you to try to let go of associating making money, the material, with whatever you're very passionate about. Remember, when we're getting these readings about the masculine and feminine energy, we're always hearing, oh, the masculine wants to be with the feminine, but he's really got to build up his finances first, okay? And you're like, okay, well, how fucking long is that going to take? Because it's been going on and on and on and on and on, and he hasn't built up his fucking finances yet? Like, what do you mean? And the reason why that's so frustrating to hear is because you then wait for it. You're like looking at this other person who you are associating with masculine energy, and you're like, well, don't they have enough money yet? Don't they have a stability? And don't they know that I don't really care about that, and that doesn't really matter to me? And you're missing the actual message of that mirror that you're looking into, which is that the only reason you're not pursuing your passions and you're not pursuing your interests and prioritizing them is because of the fear that you're not going to make any money. So what we have discovered in our spiritual community is that money flows where you are really in flow yourself, where you feel good, where you feel magnetic, where you feel the appreciation, the delight, like it's attracted to that, like it wants to come in. And it's really difficult to get into that energy if the thing that you're doing is pressured to be the source of your abundance. So the first step is simply identifying something, and also keep in mind that there might be more than one thing, which is a beautiful thing. I have a passion for nutrition. I have a passion for teaching music. I have a passion for tarot. I have a passion for performing music and creating music and teaching others about everything in the world under the sun. So it's not like you have to choose to only have one passion and pursue it for your entire life. You can actually choose different things to focus on, but it's kind of good to put all your focus into sort of one thing at a time so you're not overwhelmed. Or if you're very ADHD, very neurodivergent, maybe a couple things that you sort of overlap and alternate. I know for me that I have to do that. Like I can't just do one thing. My mind is usually thinking about other things, so I have to try to find a way to like divide it equally. Okay. I guess that makes me polyamorous in terms of my passions, but I'm of a monogamous mindset in my relationships. But so the first thing that you really want to identify is, what is that thing? So I'm going to just pull a card today that's going, or a lot of them, I guess, that's going to help us focus on how to identify what our thing is. Okay. And let's see. This is actually 5 cards, and we're going to take them all. Yay, my chair has wheels now. It's so much easier. Okay. All right, dreams do come true. You all know how long I had that chair from the 80s. Oh my God. Okay, here are the cards that came out. A lot of protection messages. Flexible. Okay. The ability to be flexible. So we're going to look at these cards individually, but let's look at them all first. Yang. That's the masculine energy of action. Blessed. Protection message. That's like appreciating your blessings. To the sea, which is kind of about going with the flow. And finally, the fates, also the protection message. Hi, Gina. Happy New Year to you. So let's take a look at this. Also, if you want to see this entire reading and you can't stay for the whole reading, or you came a little late and you missed some of the beginning, you are going to be able to see this as a replay at my Tuned In Tarot YouTube channel. There's also a replay of the last extended Tell Me Everything reading I just did yesterday. Normally that's for members only, but it's actually now up for everybody because it was the last one of 2022. And now there will be, members are going to get something specifically for them now ever after. So if you are a member, what I'm talking about is people who are members on my website. So if you've gone to pearlsprayers.com and clicked become a member for $5.55 a month, then you are going to be entitled to this additional content. Subscribers have different benefits, but members share the benefits of subscribers. So if you're a member like Gina and you want to have the 2 cards read during the personal readings, just say, I'm a member of your site if I don't already know that. Sometimes I don't know the exact TikTok handle you have because I know you by your email or your name on the website. So just let me know and I will include you with subscribers in terms of getting your reading. Okay, so the first thing that we need to do in order to, this is identify and focus on our passion, is be flexible. And we're going to look at this protection message. It is number 19. Okay. So this is talking about when you become too rigid, you lose the access to growth and untapped potential and find yourself in an us versus them scenario. Loosen up, open your mind and heart, and see if a more flexible approach feels better. This is a beautiful message. I always just try to use myself as an example. But when I was growing up, I wanted to be a rock star. And at least when I always sang, I always performed. My parents wanted me to be on Star Search. It was a whole thing. But when I was a teen, around 12 and 13, I got into the artist Tori Amos. I loved her music and I wanted to be her. I wanted to write songs like that, sing passionately, not give a fuck what men thought of me, because that's definitely the message that I got from her. Be on a stage, perform, and that was my dream. I did go to Berklee College of Music when I was 15, and I got a little bit afraid when I got there because it became clear to me that there was a lot of people who wanted exactly what I wanted and were equally gifted, if not more so in some respects, and had more education and more opportunities and more access to financial well-being and prosperity. And so I freaked out, came home, and by the time I was graduating from high school, I had decided not to go into music and instead to pursue a bachelor's in art history, which I did, with a minor in library and information science, which was really interesting and I enjoyed it a lot. But I never stopped doing music. I would go to the music room, I would take music classes. It was just something that I could never truly give up. I eventually married my first husband and moved to Ann Arbor, Michigan, and I was extremely depressed. I was with somebody who was pretty much a narcissistic abuser, very controlling, financially abusive, and I had a lot of restriction in what I was able to do. So one of the ways that I started to assert my independence was to take community college classes in music. And I had a fear when I was a teenager that the fear that kind of kept me from pursuing music was that there was only 2 options in the field of music, teaching or rock star. And I was very rigidly fixated on being just a rock star. I did not want to do anything else in music except that. And that rigidity, it wasn't always a negative thing, because it did cause me to push through the stereotypes that would suggest that I wouldn't be able to pursue music. My body type at the time, my lack of, honestly, I had a lack of support in pursuing music, but it caused me to push through that. And then I ended up going and living in Los Angeles and working there for 10 years in the music industry, despite all of the things that should have held me back. So some aspect of my stubbornness was beneficial, because not everything is a shadow, remember? But eventually the rigidity that I had about what a music career looks like caused me to start feeling disappointed and let down and like a failure in my life, even though I have accomplished many, many things in music that many people never have the pleasure of accomplishing. And I really did make the best of the time and energy and skills that I had. But the rigidity kind of sucked the life out of those accomplishments and made me feel like, well, I'm not Tori Amos. I don't have a record label, and I don't go on tour every year, and I don't make money, lots of money from my music. And, just all the things that weren't like my childhood idea of what it meant to be a musician. And thank you to everybody who's wishing me Happy New Year back to you as well. So flexibility is a really important way to approach your passion right out the gate. If you have not been doing something for a very long time because you have a very fixed idea of what that thing looks like, you might want to ask yourself, could you find a way to bring about a result that is mutually beneficial? And so to appease that child part of yourself that's stubbornly insisting on one permutation, and just compromise and find ways of doing the thing you want to do, even if it doesn't look exactly like you expected it to look. And that's exactly what my goal is for this year. For those of you that are joining me in the 30-day challenge of pursuing your passions for the next 30 days starting tomorrow, this is a great reading to kind of help you hone in on what you will do. Okay, so the next step, I guess we're going to say, is this Yang card. This is the divine masculine energy, and it is the energy of taking some action. So become more flexible about how you're going to approach your passion and how your passion could be a part of your daily life. So for instance, in my child mind of what my life should look like as a recording artist and recording and performing artist and producer, I should be back in Los Angeles, where I was for 10 years. I should be playing shows all the time. I should be working with musicians, high caliber musicians. I should be producing names that if I dropped, you would be like, ooh. I should be getting Grammys. I should be appearing on television. And I'm not saying I can't and won't do any of these things. I'm just saying that in my mind, the rigid picture of the idea of what I had about music, I noticed that as a 14-year-old, I didn't know nothing about TikTok. I had no idea that when people were going to listen to music in 2023, they were going to listen to 30 to 60 second clips of it backing videos on an app created by China. That was not something I was thinking in 1994. So now when I approach my music, I need to be a little bit more flexible and be like, okay, well, what is more important for me right now? Getting on a label or making sure that everybody who's here at my tarot reading knows that there is now a showcase tab for my song that I produced in 2021 in my profile, and that you can go listen to it. And if you want to help me pursue my passions, you can use that sound on videos and content that you create so that people will hear it. So if I wasn't open and flexible, then I might not pursue that new way of how people access music. So now that I am open and flexible, and I am asking you to go do that and to go participate and help me and support me, that's the action component that I need to take in that 30-day challenge of bringing some into my life in some way each day. This is the masculine principle of movement and creative activity, the power to make things happen and taking action. So you know what you want to do, maybe, and if you don't, consider coming to my event on Saturday, because I'm going to really help you figure that out. And for those of you that know what you're going to do on Saturday, I'm going to help you figure out what you want that to look like for the rest of this year and ongoing in throughout the next 5 years of your life. So let's say you do know what it is that you're going to do, and you're going to be more open-minded about how it happens. You're not going to worry so much about how to do it. You're not going to worry so much about what it looks like. And now you're going to start being creative. You have to start creating things. So tomorrow, my goal is I will create content that will bring that music into my daily life. And I don't know what it is yet. Probably tonight I will have to be open to some different ideas about it, but it's gonna happen. And I do have a couple little ideas floating around, and nothing that has kind of felt like the sweet spot yet. But once I do feel it, I will start doing it tomorrow. This is manifesting thought and desire into concrete form. So moving from just something that you've been kind of dreaming about into something that becomes physical. It's also a sign that right now is the perfect time to act, for you can easily build momentum and make headway. What you want will come to fruition if you proceed confidently. And this card signifies new life and is a sure sign that obstacles have been overcome. There is no reason to hesitate. You are the shaper of your destiny now. This reading is cool. Okay, so we've opened up. We've become more flexible. We've begun to create something. These are the steps we're going to take on this 30-day challenge. What's the next step? Blessed. In reverse, the protection message. So let's take a look at it. This is number 22. I kind of like that. It's sort of making me feel like we need to look back at 2022 and have some gratitude, because I think it showed us that we don't want to move on into this next year without really moving in the direction of where we ultimately want to end up. That's definitely a message I'm feeling. The essential meanings of this card are something wonderful that is unearned and unexpected, and a grace that is unforeseen gift from spirit. So this is telling me that if we start doing this, we are going to receive this grace in what we are doing. I can feel it right now. I had a lot, let me tell you, I am facing a lot of fears right now in this moment with you, because I feel emotion coming up. Because I've been so afraid that if I don't do stupid relationship tarot readings, that nobody will listen and nobody will care, that I will be rejected, that if I try to do music on my music account, which is what Pearl's Prayers is, by the way, I actually have a separate account for tarot. And it only has like 70 some followers, because I've just never really tried to grow it very consistently. But that if I do that no one will listen. Such a stupid thing, because if you go listen to my music right now, you're going to be like, why would you ever think that, right? Those are the rejection wounds. And these wounds and these tears are this awareness I have that I have been living in a dream world to a certain extent, in the Four of Cups for the last year, thinking that my person was going to come into union with me, when I'm terrified to actually authentically pursue my gifts. There's no way that, like, I literally teach that. It's just like a profound moment for me right now. But when you start to pursue it, you're going to feel this energy of, and I'm testifying to it right now. And I'm so glad you're saying you really needed to hear this so much. I'm so glad. That's my goal. Like, that's what people were saying before about the masculine and feminine readings. And so you're validating my choice right now, which is just very profound. And I thank you for that. So what starts to happen is that this grace comes. Like, I know the words to say. Before I started this live today, I was like, I don't know what I'm going to say. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know how I'm going to guide it. And what happened? I shuffled the cards and 5 random cards fell out. And I'm like, okay, I guess I'll read these cards. You're going to receive unexpected blessings on this journey. I have had a lot of trouble recently with getting people to purchase readings, and my finances have been really rough, and I just couldn't figure out why. And about a month ago, I started to realize that it was because I was not doing content that was honoring my feminine energy, and so I wasn't opening to receive abundance. So the protection message, it says, humility is called for now, as grace is an unearned gift. You didn't gain this by your own desires or actions. To be who you need to be, you can no longer do what you did. In a way, you have hit rock bottom, and what is required now is nothing less than total surrender. Then you will be blessed. It's just crazy. Whoever's here today is lucky, because this is such a powerful message for your life. Like, you've probably heard a million readings about how your person is gonna come back, and not a single one of those readings did anything for you. Nothing. And I gave some of those readings for the last year. The only thing that you got from those readings is this feeling of disconnect between what you know is true about yourself, your value and your worthiness, and the lack of movement and motion that you were experiencing. So, super profound, okay? You will be blessed. So this is literally saying, be flexible about how you pursue your passion, start making shit, and then be humble, because you are going to receive blessings from this in unexpected ways. So don't think you know how it's going to work. Just do it, okay? Just Nike. This 2023 is the year of Nike, okay? Like the God, not just not just the shoes. All right, the next step for the 30-day challenge for you is thank you so much for the support and the likes, everybody, right now. It's so funny. I have not been receiving this much support for until I shifted my energy into what I'm really meant to do and who I'm meant to be. And I think now I can really empower my followers in ways that I was feeling limited before. We've got number 7. This is literally the number for this year. This is 2023's number is number 7, which is the Chariot, which is surrender. Okay. Thank you for my crown. To the sea. Let's see what it has to say. This is the next step. After you get humble and realize that you're going to receive these blessings, and it's going to almost seem like they're unearned, because you know why? When you're doing something you love, and it feels good and it's fun and somebody pays you for it, you're like, the fuck? Like, I remember the first time I made $250 doing a concert. It was the greatest concert ever. We had the most fun. I was high as a kite, like, from the endorphins. Everybody was coming up to me and being like, oh my God, you're so amazing. And I was like, I know, right? Like being my full Leo self. And then the owner of the bar came up and was like, we have never had, we got a take of the bar, and they were like, we have never on a Tuesday night in our entire history of this bar paid an artist this much. And I took that $250 and was like, holy shit. Like, I remember just being so ecstatic about that. Like, that shit is hard to do. Usually I have to pay to play, and I refused to do that in my career. So I did not expect to get that. After we left that night, they actually changed the policy. They changed the percentage that people would get from, like, weeknights at their bar, because they had never paid. I mean, fuck them, that's not very much money, but they never paid a band that much ever. And I remember being like, I just got paid to do that? And when I first started doing tarot readings, I had the same feeling. I was like, wait, somebody just paid me to do the most fun thing I've ever done, pretty much, since I started performing music? So it's definitely going to feel like an unearned blessing that you're going to get. This says, being in flow, returning to source, recognizing how pieces fit together, a natural pattern of events. So think of the confidence you should be feeling right now about transitioning into really doing what you love. Here we have Sydney here to confirm for us. So she's here to validate. Literally me at work, but now I'm shifting directions a tiny bit. I feel so lucky to get paid to do what I love. See, I'm the same. I'm having to shift direction in tarot, like back into my music, because tarot's starting to be uncomfortable enough that it's causing me to have to shift into my other true calling, right? At the end, I imagine I will somehow have combined both. And how many musicians out there are there that are like doing that? I think that's going to be unique. So cool beans. Isn't it wonderful when you feel yourself in the flow of life, when events and conditions seem to engage you in a way that is fluid and effortless? This card reminds you that going with the flow is exactly what you need to do right now. Ride the wave of opportunity formed by perfect conditions. Allow trust and faith to guide you forward as you flow like a river into the sea of life. That's fucking beautiful. This is a drop dead gorgeous reading. The final card is a protection message. This is the final aspect of pursuing your passions for this 30-day challenge. And it is the Fates card. It is number 17. It's reminding me of the star card there with, you know, your fate and pursuing your dreams and wishes. And the essential meanings are fate, karma, and acceptance that there are things you cannot change, and knowing what those things are. So that's kind of the serenity prayer. The protection message is, this is a reflection back upon the last year and upon everything that's led you up to this point of pursuing your passions. It is difficult to understand why painful things happen to good people. Fate is a mystery after all. Yet what we do with our circumstances, the way in which we respond to life's challenges, is how we rise up to greet our destiny. Now is one of those times to be aware of your powerlessness to change certain situations and surrender to acceptance. Hang in there. Life will only get better. Act as if you believe that, for the only thing you can control right now is your attitude. When you align with the fates, being mindful of what you can and cannot change, serenity will come to you. This is literally the best advice you can have for this next year in terms of pursuing your passion, and really identifying what that divine feminine part of you is. I am not a reader who believes that feminine identifying people are divine feminines. I believe that you have divine feminine energy within you. It's the energy that connects you to the goddess or the feminine aspect of consciousness, and masculine energy that connects you to the god, the masculine aspect of consciousness. In our culture, many of us have been conditioned to focus exclusively on the masculine aspect of consciousness. When we pray, we only pray to the god. And you know, obviously I'm pagan, so I believe in the multifaceted aspects of the supreme. I believe that there's incarnations across cultures, incarnations in nature, and incarnations even within like human aspects of divinity. And so for me now, I now understand that one of the reasons my life has felt so imbalanced is because I was raised Catholic, which I don't have a problem with being raised Catholic, but that focused almost exclusively on the divine masculine. The one positive aspect of being raised Catholic is that we were taught to revere the mother energy in Mary, and many Christian sects do not do that. They do not at all have a reverence for Mary, and in fact they think that Catholics are evil because they pray to Mary, which I never really understand. But so thankfully I did have some feminine energy in my life, but I was always taught to seek the masculine, focus on the masculine, defer to the masculine. And that is why in relationships we've been so imbalanced. It's been so difficult to come into union. So it's time to honor the divine feminine. the divine feminine aspect of self. And I do believe it's really going to change the game in terms of relationships. So in a way, when I was reading about relationship before, without really bringing this into the picture, I was kind of doing the same thing that I was trained to do through being raised as a Christian, which was to focus on what the masculine energy was doing and feeling disconnected from the emotional aspect of my person, because my person that's emotionally unavailable is not in tune with the feminine energy within self. And if he's not aligned with his feminine energy in self, how can he then align with me? He can't. And how can I align with others without being in touch with that part of myself? I can't. And so now, finally, I can see from this reading that we who are here and starting to pursue this aspect of our lives are finally on a path to union, to real union. And we've had union many times throughout the last few years. We've had a union of head and heart. We've seen union in the cards. And as long as you're understanding that as a union within, then you know that you have experienced that many, many times. And that just like the caduceus, right, that moves in and out, there are points of union and points of separation. And always you return to that meeting of the heart and mind. And that's where you feel the best. And at some point in time, you know, the snakeheads at the top, they are now seeing eye to eye. And that's where you have a union, not only within, but in the physical. So we're still on the journey. I would say we're kind of close to the top right now. That is my message for you for today. I wasn't expecting that, which is part of the blessed card. That was not what I really thought was going to happen today. So I'm here for it. Now I would be so happy to read for any of my subscribers 2 cards on any topic. You can ask me about divine masculine and feminine stuff, relationships. Don't feel afraid to ask about those things. And I will pull 2 cards for you. And then if you want me to pull 2 cards for you today, all you have to do is subscribe to the channel. It's only $5.99, and you basically get a reading anytime that I'm live, which is about 6 days a week. And you can also get a deeper reading for $33 if you want more than 2 cards. And the link for that is in my profile, and it is Venmo, PayPal, or Cash App. Hey, Christine. So subscribers, let me know. Would you like 2 cards? Just tell me, just put your question right. If you have a question, just put it in the comments right away and I'll know what your question is and go to town. If it's just general, just say general and we'll do that. And I'm holding my Light Seers Tarot, so I guess that's the one we're meant to look at. I had the weirdest experience when I sat down at my desk. I sat down and I put my right foot down and it felt weird. I was like, oh, like I felt like it was like, I don't even know how to describe it. At first I thought it was like almost like an icy hot feeling. And I was like, what is that? And I thought I was having some weird like nerve reaction. And then I like moved my foot and it was fine. And then I put it back down again and had the same experience. I was like, what is it? And then I was like, wait, I think it's water. But it was so weird. And then I looked down and there was this water that was all over the floor. And I'm sitting here, I'm looking at my dog. I'm like, okay, I'm pretty sure she didn't pee. She was downstairs before we came up here. I couldn't figure it out. And then I discovered that I have this bag, this Trader Joe's bag right next to my desk. And inside of it, I have, I don't know if you can see them. Yes, see over there? There's water bottles. And I fill them up downstairs and I put them in there. And then I use it for like my humidifier thingy and my dog bowl. Like I'll pour it into her bowl and everything. And one of them had tipped over and had a tiny crack in it. And it must have just leaked out overnight. And it was just so bizarre. I was like, is there like something dripping? Like I'm looking everywhere, couldn't find it. It was just that water bottle. But it made me think of the way that I was about to do divine feminine energy, which is water. That's like the feminine. All right, let's start with Christine. We have general would be cool, and Happy New Year to you too, babes. Let's take a look. General energy coming out for Christine. What's important for her to know and focus on. Okay, major energy. Cards are not playing today. They're just like, bam. We have the Star card, and then we have the Tower. Look at the light in both of the cards. It's kind of an interesting, like, one is like this feeling of like a positive feeling. The other is kind of like intense, right? There's like this dark energy that's around it. Okay, so the Star is about hope. It's about wishing. It's about healing. It's about taking the unconscious and manifesting it into material. And the only way you do that is through creativity. The Tower is about being shaken out of your slumber. It's about like the ground kind of shifting under you. It's uncomfortable. It could be like, it's like an earthquake. It's a divine intervention. It's about having to let go and release some things that have been destabilizing you so that you can have a more solid ground beneath you. I think a lot of readers have a very limited view of the Tower. They pull and they're like, oh, the Tower. That's not how I feel about it. I love a tower. It's not necessarily comfortable, but like when I'm crying and like feeling like all the emotion from whatever is going on, I have this feeling of like everything's changed forever. This thing, like this, I'm never going to feel this way again. Whatever was making me feel this way, it's gone now. That's how I feel about towers. I like look to them and also they're this sign. They're like, you need to change course. You need to change directions. That's how I feel about them. When I see this Star card, I'm absolutely seeing that, there's something that you are dreaming about. There is something that you are wishing for, hoping for. And then the Tower is coming in and it's asking you to reevaluate it. It's asking you to look at some of it and find what is actually destabilizing about this thing that you're hoping or wishing for. If it's not happening, is there a reason? Tower is meant to kind of give us a slap and be like, what you're asking for is not what you truly want. And that's kind of a hard thing to embrace. It takes radical acceptance. A lot of times we ask for something, our ego is using a physical material object to represent the thing. But what we're truly asking for is an essence, our feelings. We want certain feelings. And our higher self or source or consciousness or God or goddess or whatever you want to call that energy, that aspect knows what will actually fulfill our dream. And we're saying, oh, please, I want this. I want a committed, loving partner who, who values me and loves me and wants to do the same things I want to do and shares my goals and shares my worldview and is supportive and knows how to cook sometimes and is always, ready with a loving, caring, supportive message the way that I want to be for my person. So can I have Joe Schmo? And the universe is like, there's absolutely no way you can have Joe Schmo. Joe Schmo isn't any of those things that you just said. And he's not going to transform into any of those things that you just said anytime soon. So if you want Joe Schmo, I mean, okay, but like his schedule, you're looking at a long wait for Joe Schmo. So what about any of these other options? And so a lot of times the Tower will take Joe Schmo out of the picture and it will be uncomfortable and it will feel crummy and we'll think like, why do you do this? Like I asked for you, won't give it to me. And then like when we come out of that stupor that we're in, we realize that there was no way that person or that job or that location would ever have given us any of the things we were wishing for. And so this is your big major message today, which is whatever you're wishing for, if it's not happening, if it's uncomfortable, if it feels like you're kind of banging your head against a wall, if it's being taken away right now, it is that essence of radically accepting that there are aspects of it that you would not want to have. And you have to release your attachment to the physical outcome of what you are desiring in order to fully allow that manifestation of the unconscious into the material. So, good luck with your Tower moment. It might be something you're already experiencing now. It might be something that is just kind of, like when it starts to happen, you'll be like, oh, this is exactly. But knowing about it usually takes the sting out of the Tower moment when you're like, oh, I asked for this. I didn't realize that it was going to be like this. But like, I remember one time I had a manager when I worked at Starbucks years ago who was just, I can't say anything nice. We'll put it that way. Just not nice and made me uncomfortable. I really hated working with this person. And I love people, and I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good about working with just about anybody. If somebody's like, you know, a little bit annoying, I'm pretty good about dealing with it. But this person actually gave me anxiety, made me feel stressed out. I did not like the energy. And I would dread going to work. And it was like a Saturday, and I had to go to work the next morning, pretty early in the morning. And I was going to bed, and I was just like, oh, God, I just wish, like, I didn't have to go tomorrow. I just wish anything would happen, would not, like, whatever. 4 a.m, I hear this banging on my door. I get up, I go downstairs, and there's a police officer standing on my doorstep. And the police officer is like, ma'am, because they always call you ma'am, is this your car? And he points to my car, which looked perfectly normal, parked on the street. And I was like, yeah, totally. What's the problem, officer? And he's like, well, I think you're going to need to come take a look, ma'am. And so I come down the steps, and he walks me over to the other side of my car, and I see that my lovely, it was a Chevy HHR, the left side of the car was now folded under into the right side of the car because somebody had been drunk and smashed into it and totaled it, smashed into another car in front of it, and then drove into a porch and almost killed someone. So I was like, well, shit, I won't be driving to work. And I had to call my boss and let her know I couldn't come in, and I had to deal with all this, and it was this big headache. And I was crying, and I didn't know what I was going to do, and it was very upsetting, and I had poor credit at the time, so I didn't know how I was going to get another loan, and it was a mess. And I was going through all of that, and then later that night, my sister, I was on the phone with her crying about it and trying to figure that out. My sister goes, well, at least you didn't have to work with that bitch. And I was like, oh my God, like, that is a tower moment that comes from not being specific when you ask for something. So be careful how you wish for things. Lesson learned. I'm now very careful. I'm like, oh, I don't want to do this. I'll be like, in the nicest way possible, without any financial loss, in any way, I would like to not have to do this thing, please. Nobody dies. Nobody gets sick. Nobody, just for the highest good of all, but also get me out of this in some way that is still for the highest good of all, and no insurance companies and no rental cars and nothing like that. You are in it lately. I feel that, Christine. But just know it is for your benefit, and just have a lot of just appreciation for whatever it is, because it is pushing you where you need to go. Okay, Gina, it's your turn. Let me give you your general message, Gina. All right. A little bit of romance coming right out here. Let's see what else is happening. You know, it's funny. In all of my fear of I won't be able to read these messages anymore, I'm just completely forgetting that I'm constantly going to still be reading masculine and feminine messages. I'm constantly still going to be doing that. It's just not going to be the motivation for my content that I create, which is awesome because I still get to do it. Because I was a little bit sad. I was like, I won't be able to do it. I'm still going to get to do it. Right now, for instance, there's Divine Masculine, and he's got flowers. And I really did. He jumped right out of the deck, too. There's a horse here, so I'm drawn to the strength that it takes to approach somebody and face fear of rejection and be open to hearing whatever they have to say and be open to saying whatever you need to say. And then we're getting the Fool, which is showing me the feminine energy, and she is just going to trust fall, and she's going to be safe because she's created this whole web with her co-creator, her actual partner in crime, the higher self, consciousness, the divine, whatever. And there's this network, there's this support network here for her to fall into. And she can take risks, and she can feel like she can surrender to love and surrender to romance and trust in whatever messages are here, and have something new and something fresh, something that is emotionally fulfilling. So that's your general message right now. I would trust that, you know, you are going to be able to communicate and express what it is that you love and desire, that you're going to be able to take the risks and just trust fall into it, and that a person in your life is going to have the same grace and the same ability to be able to do that. So that's a beautiful energy for you. The Light Seers Tarot is pretty great. It took me a long time to get it. I have so many decks and I didn't get it for quite some time. All right, let me go back here. That was Gina's message. And we saw, let's see, Carissa, I think you're next. Yep, Carissa. All right, let's get your cards. So 2 cards for Carissa. Also, don't forget, subscribers, if you have an actual question, make sure you just ask what the question is. And if you just want a general, just tell me general. And if you happen to pay for a membership on my website, but you don't have a prayer badge by your name, just make sure you tell me that you're a member on my website, and I'm going to take that on the honor system. If you tell me you're a member of my website and you're not, I would not be excited about the karma that comes from that. So just, I'll take that on the honor system and leave my spirit team to take care of anybody who's not being honest and trustworthy. Wow. Okay, so Carissa, you got the 4 of Wands right away coming out of the deck. And what was coming out after that is the Hierophant. Both of these cards are associated with commitment and marriage. This one is more celebration, the event of reuniting. It's about mirrored energy. And this one is more about the spiritual commitment, the faith we bring to something. It can be about union. It can be about coming into union. I definitely feel there's more of a spiritual aspect here. I do kind of get a sense that it's about really celebrating yourself and celebrating yourself along your spiritual journey, because this is about learning spiritual lessons. It's also about tradition too. So it can be having an engagement and a marriage, because one came before the other. It's definitely, I mean, these cards wouldn't come out if that wasn't possible for you. So definitely embrace and believe. Absolutely. Gorgeous energy. Really positive energy coming out today for everybody. Okay, if you're just joining and you want to know what's going on, I'm reading 2 cards for subscribers and members. If you're a subscriber, you have a PRYR prayer badge next to your name, so that's how I know you're a subscriber. If you are a member, I most likely have seen your email, and if I don't know your handle, just let me know. You can even tell me what your email is if you want to, and whether you want 2 cards or not. Members are members on my site. It's $5.55 a month to be a member on my site, and members here, it's $5.99. And basically you get 2 cards read for you anytime I'm live, and other things too, but that's like the main thing I think everybody get excited about. Okay, so we did Carissa's message, and then I saw someone else. Was it Sophia? Yes, Sophia. And then Psycho Lemon Twist. Are you Jessica? Is that your name? Sometimes I don't remember people's names. I apologize for that. And then Nicole. Okay, you're welcome, Carissa. Good luck. Let me know if you come into union, babe. That's kind of exciting. All right, let's see. Sophia, you just had 2 cards. If there's a specific question, let me know. Otherwise, I'll just pull genuine. I will pull genuine and general cards for you. If you're curious about what frequency we're listening to, we're continuing to listen to the healing energy of love, 639 hertz, to open our hearts and remove old energy blocks to love. Right now the screen says, I allow myself to calm down. I feel present, centered, and calm. I am breathing love and light into every cell of my body. right. We actually 3 cards came out for you, but one was under in your second placement. So the first card that came out is the 3 of Cups. We're hitting the union cards today. Not surprising, honestly. But of course, the 3 of Cups can also be about friendships. It can be about having fun and having a good time. It's not necessarily always about reuniting and celebrating, but it can be. And the next 2 cards that came out, the 7 of Cups, right behind it, the Star card. Now, based on what today's collective reading was about, which if you missed it, it'll appear later on YouTube. There may be some elements of today's reading that's kind of coming through here, which is about choosing how, like, some dream that you want to pursue, some wish, the feminine energy that you want to pursue in your life. I don't know, Sophia, if you know what your passion is. Because this is kind of a card that's about like what should I choose? I'm kind of confused. I don't know exactly how to fulfill my wishes or my dreams. And this 3 of Cups is about having a lot of fun. Now, if we're looking at this as a personal reading for the divine feminine energy, then the story that I'm getting, so you have many passions. That tracks, right? This is like, which passion is something that I'm meant to do? Maybe what's the thing that I'm really meant to connect with? Okay. And this card is telling you what makes you feel really good, connected. It might be a community activity, something that brings other people together. There could be an aspect of that to it, or this just could indicate, like I said, as a neurodivergent, ADHD type of a person, I have many passions too. And what works for me is finding ways to weave those things together. I have learned when I ignore any one of them, I feel it. And this past year, not really honoring my music has really kind of taken its toll. So kind of having to narrow down like maybe your top 3 because you don't want to overwhelm yourself, and then finding ways to weave those things into your daily life, which of course is that 30-day challenge that we're about to embark on. Any of you that do the 30-day challenge and complete it, I will give you a personal reading at half off. I'm going to take that on the honor system. If you want a personal reading after the 30 days, which will be January 31st, will be the last day of the challenge, just say, I completed my 30-day challenge. And most likely I'll have seen it because it'll probably be popping up in my TikTok feed that you're pursuing whatever your passion is. But I will give you a 50% off of a personal reading as a gift to you, and just like a gold sticker. So I look forward to hopefully having hundreds of those to give to people. So that will be awesome. I hope a lot of people take that 30-day challenge. So the main thing that I'm seeing right now is that you're most likely going to need to find a way to weave in your passions on a daily basis by maybe choosing, 2 or 3 at the most, and then finding ways to put them throughout your week. Now, one of the things I like to do is I use the witch's calendar, which first of all, I celebrate the Sabbats and the Esbats, and I kind of use that to help me feel that nature's cycle, the ebbing and flowing of energy. And I use it in almost everything I do now. And I like to also look at the days of the week and which days are good for which sorts of energetic activities. For instance, Wednesdays are known to be great for communication. Friday, that's another day for creativity because it's a day of love and doing things you love or being with somebody you love. Like Monday is like a cleaning day, a cleansing day. So you can go and look up for fun. You don't even have to be pagan or identify as pagan to use that energy or the cycle, but you can go look it up and you could kind of divide your time on that energetic cycle. Like if writing was a passion, maybe Wednesdays you commit to writing for 15 minutes to an hour. And if dancing is a passion, then maybe there's a, you know, a few different days of the week where you start your day with that energy. Like, obviously do whatever it is that, look at whatever it is that you do and kind of look at the week and try to give yourself the time to do all those things. Now, all of that aside, that's all about you. If we looked at this as the energy of the divine masculine as represented inside of another person, as reflected back to you in another person, what I'm seeing is that this person may be having difficulty choosing one person. And the reason that they may be having difficulty choosing is because they put you on a pedestal. And I don't know if they feel good enough. And so they choose all these other things that are basically just castles in the sand. And they're kind of missing this really solid choice. They're feeling like, I can't really like stand up to this person. The other thing it could represent is that this person does know that they want to choose you. And they are wanting to come into kind of a reunion, but they don't know what path to take in order to get there. And there's just a little bit of this kind of leaving it to fate, which is kind of annoying because fate has sort of set everything up for the masculine energy. And the masculine energy just kind of keeps ignoring fate and just, you know, insisting upon doing these old behaviors. And before you start to get salty about it, remember that's our energy, right? We keep ignoring what our true destiny is and kind of focusing on other things that really aren't as meaningful. So that is what I'm seeing from your reading today. Good luck. Let me know how pursuing your passions goes. And if you do the 30-day challenge, keep me posted, everybody who's going to do it. It doesn't have to be difficult. It doesn't have to be intimidating. Like, for instance, let's say my passion is music. So for 30 days, I need to do one activity, one thing every day that honors my creativity in music. So that could mean that basically I have this ongoing list, which, by the way, if there are songs that you think you would like to hear me cover, let me know. You can comment on any of my videos and say like, hey, I thought of this song for you to cover. You can tell me in a live, and I will add it to my playlist. But basically, so let's say tomorrow I could be like, okay, I'm going to work today for 15 minutes at least on one of the songs that people have suggested that I cover, or I add my own songs that I want to cover to that list too. I'm going to work for 15 minutes at least on that. And then the next day I could be like, okay, today when I make my content for the collective, I'm going to take some time to make, you know, this is me practicing that song that I chose from my list, or something that's, you know, an appeal to people that are like, hey, do you know about my song? Please go listen to it. Please go create a video with it. It doesn't have to be intimidating to do something you love for 30 days. And it doesn't have to be like, you know, you set up a business plan and you follow everything. It literally is honoring your feminine energy. That's all. Thank you for saying you love my songs. I appreciate that. Okay, and I see you want cards too. I just want to make sure I'm hitting everybody. I think Nicole might be next. Yes, I did see some other people who put their names, but unless you are a member on my site or a subscriber, that's the only way that I'm doing readings for today. I do not do free readings anymore. Although if you're here with me 30 days of the month, you're getting like your readings are only a few cents. So it's a good investment for you, I would say. And also, no, you don't always have to get readings if you don't want to. Some people don't want to get a reading every single day. They kind of like to let the energy sit for a minute. That's fine too. But if you want one, it's available. Also, notice that once you do become a subscriber, I go and I follow you. So you have access to my DMs and you are welcome to message me. I got an amazing, lovely message. It made me cry last night from somebody. It was so grateful for that message. And And I enjoy, you know, if you see a cool video, you see a cool astrology thing, you see something funny, send it my way, please. I enjoy it. I might not get to it right away, but I definitely do get to it eventually. I pretty much only watch the things people send me on TikTok, and like regular TikTok, I only watch for like maybe at the most like 30 minutes before I'm like, okay, I'm done. All right, so I think Nicole, you were next, right? That's what I said. Yes, and we've got general energy for Nicole. Thank you for saying it's the best investment ever. I appreciate that. All right, Nicole. First card out. We have the moon in reverse. So I'm not afraid anymore, energy. I'm not afraid of my deep emotions, my deep feelings. I'm not hiding anything. I don't have anything to hide. I'm willing to look at my subconscious, you know, programming. I'm willing to delve into it, to reveal it, so that I can heal it, which is the next card that's coming up here. Major energy for you people. A lot of people are getting a lot of major arcana cards. Temperance. So I'm not afraid to dig through this stuff, and I am absolutely ready to heal it. And I'm also ready to acknowledge that there is a divine energy that is working to heal me on my behalf. And it may involve inner divine masculine wounds, just because of the deck I chose and this, you know, chill masculine here. There's a calm and a peace. You're like, really a feeling of like, I'm not afraid anymore. I feel peaceful. I feel like I'm able to regulate my emotions. So maybe in the past you had emotional reactivity, and you might even be afraid of being emotionally reactive. And there's like, nope, I can handle my emotions right now. I can sit calmly in them and let them teach me what I need to know about my thoughts and how to shift them. Hey, have you been working with me on a daily basis? It kind of looks like that. That looks really good to me, though. And that's my goal for the people who are coming to my lives, for you to get to that place where you're not afraid to look within and find the things that need healing, and achieve some peace and calm. Yeah, he's nice, right? One of my friends, I talk about her all the time, Dr. Kyle, the one that's a photon light therapist in Kansas City. That temperance card, this was her deck actually. She accidentally left this deck in Las Vegas when we all went on a Real Witches of Las Vegas trip. I went with Grace Draga, and I was having fond memories of that last night because I was looking at all of 2022, and I did that back in February. And she was one of the first ones to leave the hotel room. We stayed in the Trump Tower in Vegas. We had one of the like penthouse suites. It was fucking awesome. And I have never stayed in any place as luxurious as that. And it was so funny to stay in the Trump Tower. It was just because me and Grace Drago were just like so out of place. Like how we looked. like everyone else around us was just real buttoned up, you know, and we were just like crazy. It was fun. But Dr. Kyle had booked that room for us, which was her amazing gift to me, and it was awesome. And as I was getting ready to leave the hotel room, I saw this deck lying on the desk, so I grabbed it for her and I offered to mail it to her, and she was like, nope, you're the tarot reader, you keep that deck. But she had been working with it a lot, and the whole reason we went there is because all three of us can call cards, so we went and played blackjack and brought our witchy powers. It was really fun. I did leave with $300, which was pretty great. But when she gets the temperance card, that card for her, because every reader always associates that with patience, and she's very much about shifting her reality through changing the way she thinks about things and reprogramming. And so she decided, whenever she saw the temperance card from this deck, oh look, the Lovers is right on the back, that that was her man's. Like that was instead of patience, that card for her was like her man's. And I liked that energy so much. Okay, so we hit Nicole's. I think Texas Honey, you might be next, my babes. Did we Yes, I think I already got Sophia, right? Yes. Did I? Yes, I did. Okay, and we've got Texas Honey, and then Psycho Lemon Twist. Do you want one, babe? I'm assuming you do. I didn't see it from before, so. Okay, Texas Honey, let's get your 2 cards. Yes, you do too. Okay. All right, you're thinking and you're thinking about things. We've got here the Ace of Swords, but you're not thinking in a negative way about them. It's actually an uplifting, a positive way. There's not a downward spiral here. I would say there's an upward spiral almost going on, because the Ace of Swords is the Ace of Swords. The Ace of Swords is a card, there we go, that's about having clarity about our future, like thinking in new ways, having a new self-concept. And what's coming after that is the Eight of Wands, which is full speed ahead, rushing forward, communication, ideas being put into action. And so, you know, maybe you're doing affirmations about having good communication with your person. Oh yeah, your card from last night. That's right. Oh, what deck was I using last night? I can't remember what deck I was using. It was the Tarot of Mystical Moments, I think, right? Very interesting. So I guess hammered in for you, because that was your theme for 2023, right? So just thinking in this positive, uplifting way. Oh no, I have to pull the card for you from last night, because you missed last night. Yes, so I have to pull your theme for, that's what it is. Somebody did get the Ace of Swords from the Tarot of Mystical Moments last night. Let me put these back together, because I want to pull your theme for the new year, which might include what I just talked about also, right? That new self-concept, thinking positively about communication. How's it going with the new guy? So this is your theme for 2023. Which, by the way, if you didn't get your theme for 2023 last night because you weren't here, let me know. I'll give it to you if you're a subscriber. All that glitters. It was in the protection message. But so your number for this next year is 16. You might want to look at the numerology behind the number 16. It's going slow. Okay, well, this is interesting because you need to think differently, right? This is all, remember I said this is full speed ahead. This is going a bit fast, right? So maybe just shifting your mindset into starting to think like, I think a really good thing to think is things are going at the speed that they're meant to go. And because that's going to take away the feeling of like this is going slowly, and maybe turn it into things are going as fast as they're meant to go, which is a way of thinking that things are moving fast without lying to yourself, which makes it hard for you to believe the affirmation. So things are going as fast as they need to, or things are going at the exact right speed, or something like that. However you would say it. Affirmations are most effective when they are how you would say them, like the way that you would talk to your friends. So think of how you would say that in a positive way to shift that energy. But all that glitters is number 16, and the essential meanings of this card include, if I can find it, a need to see beyond the superficial, the desire to don a mask or dress something up to disguise its true nature, trying to be something you're not, chasing after every sparkly new thing, or being mercurial. So let's see. The protection message, though, is what you got. And it says, 2023 is a signal, or this 2023, this is what you're going to, this is your theme. This is a signal to walk away from what you're contemplating. There is a thin veneer of glitter and sparkle that masks something rotten underneath, Pursuing it will only bring about a difficult situation you will be sorry you got yourself into. Stay away. Isn't it wonderful how Spirit protects you? Better things await. Okay, so don't jump necessarily just to the guy. Because we had just mentioned that. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's about that guy. But it can be about any aspect, really. And you might need to do a little bit of thinking about something that seems like it's a really good thing for you, but maybe it just looks really good on the outside, and maybe when you kind of start to dig into it, it's not quite as good as it seems. And so this year is going to be a year where maybe you identify that, and maybe you're already doing that. Like maybe last year was like you had some ideas about what was going on. Hey, Tanya! You had some ideas about what was going on last year, and like it seemed like it was going to pay off in a big way, and it just really didn't. And so 2023 is about that better thing that's awaiting you now that you kind of peeled back those layers from whatever you had thought was going to be so good before. So think about it a little bit, see if that feels right, like it was maybe what was going on before, and now this year that better thing is coming, or if you can identify something that you're kind of thinking like, this could be sort of sparkling and shiny on the outside and maybe not like what I'm really looking for in the long term on the inside. And then, the card was pretty firm. It was like, stay away from that thing. It's wearing a mask. It is not actually what it appears to be. So really give it some thought. But I think that because this is what I'm pulling for your theme is that something better is absolutely awaiting you. And so just be thinking in your mind about that positive forward motion, and maybe pulling back on thinking something is going too slowly, and think instead this is going at the exact speed it's meant to, for everything to unfold just as it's meant to. And every day gets faster and faster and better and better. All right. After Texas Honey, we had Psycho Lemon Twist. I think you're the next one. So right now, if you're joining me, I am reading for subscribers 2 cards each. This is the perk of being a subscriber. Anytime I am going live and doing personal readings, I will be pulling cards for you. You can subscribe here, of course, to my channel. I also read for members of my website. If you become a member at my site at the link in my profile, you'll receive the same benefits. If you would like a deeper reading, please send $33 to Venmo, PayPal, or Cash App at the link in my profile. And the way that you get, I see somebody asking if you can get on a list. The way that you get on a list is once you subscribe, the prayer badge the prayer badge appears by your name. And then once you have the prayer badge, I read for you. That's how it works. Okay, general cards for Psycho Lemon Twist. Also, if you pay a $33 payment, you'll be next in line too. Like that, like you'll be whoever. It's like, why can't I say that? Whoever has a prayer badge, I'm reading like down the list because they've said they wanted it here in the comments. And then if you pay for a reading, you'll be added into that list. Okay. So for you, we are getting another major arcana, lots of major energy coming out for my followers today. We have the Death card, and then we have the Two of Swords. So this is kind of exciting. At first you're like, oh my God, something is over, it's ending. But then you see what it is, and it's like the standstill. The feeling of being trapped in your mind and avoiding making some kind of a decision. The thing being stalled out, being paused. It can be about purely being indecisive. If you're a person that deals with indecisive energy, this can be a time where you are no longer going to sit on things and just, wait for a tower moment. You're going to be like taking decisive action. It can be about another person in your life that's going to take decisive action. I'm seeing a feminine energy here. So whether it's about you, if as feminine identifying person, if you are, or the emotions, it can be about doing, taking that decisive action towards what your creative endeavors are. By the way, if you missed the collective reading, it's going to be available later this evening. I will be uploading this to YouTube later. So also If you're a person who gets personal readings from me each night, you can always check my Tune In Tarot YouTube if you want to go back and rewatch your message. I know sometimes people will say like, oh, I wish I had a recording of it. So that is available on YouTube for those of you that have asked questions when when I'm able to post them. Every once in a while, it doesn't let me post it for some reason, but I usually try to do it for you. So I do see transformation energy. If you've been stuck or stalled out, or things aren't moving, or you keep kind of thinking yourself into analysis paralysis, there's just going to be an end to that. And there's going to be something fresh that's going to come from changing the energy. Now, if you are waiting for somebody to break the standstill, then you are not doing anything to change the energy. So you definitely need to take action in that situation. That does not mean that you are going to break the standstill by communicating. A lot of times people think, oh, that means I'm supposed to communicate with my person. No, it doesn't. It means you're supposed to take some kind of an action to get out of the stagnant energy of waiting for that person to talk to you. One of the best ways to do that is to stop waiting for them to talk to you and start doing whatever it is that you would do if they were talking to you. So a good thing to do, a good exercise, is to sit back and close your eyes and visualize. My person comes in. My person communicates with me. I'm with my person now. Go ahead, focus on that for a little while. Feed it some detail. Get into it. Feel the feelings. Get all excited. Then fast forward in your visualization 5 years into the future. Your person's already talked to you. You've already had that event happen. What are you doing? What are you wearing? Where do you live? What kinds of activities do you do? And I want you to imagine going on a girl's trip or a boy's trip or whoever gender's trip. I want you to go on a trip with those people. It is strictly, like Real Housewives of Beverly Hills Girls Weekend energy. You are not with the partner or person. You are alone, independent, feeling good. Your person's at home. They are working on their stuff. You're excited to kind of get away, and you are sitting around with your friends and you are telling them all the things you want to do on that weekend. What do you want to do on the girls' trip? Where did you go? What kinds of things are going on there? What career do you have? Talk to them about your career. Tell them things you love about it. Tell them things that are annoying about it. It's a visualization. Make it realistic. Tell them how much money you make. Tell them how much more you want to make. After you come out of this visualization, write down all of the things that came to you, all of the ways that you wanted to be and who you wanted to be. And then become that person that was on the girls' trip weekend. Become that person. Make that your goal for 2023. That and think about your partner that you're waiting to break the silence. Think about them as being at home working on a project while you are out living your best life. And they're supportive and they're happy for you. They're excited for you. There's not jealousy. There's not anxiety. There's not anything except for like, I love my person. We're awesome. We're pursuing our interests. That's one way to break a standstill where you're waiting for someone else, because most likely you are in the illusion, which these dark birds usually represent for me. You are in an illusion that when the person comes and does something, then all of those things that you were imagining 5 years down the line are just going to happen. But they're not, because your person talking to you doesn't give you any of those things that you want 5 years down the line. None of it. None of that comes from your person. All of it comes from you. So, and this is a big major energy, which is why I spent a lot of time reading that to you, because I think it's a very important step for you. So, good luck. You can do it. All right, that was Psycho Lemon Twist. Tanya, do you want your 2 cards for the new year, babes? Or, well, not for the new year, but you can ask any question, or people have just been saying general. That's why I said that. Or do you just want general energy? If any of you that are joining right now would like 2 cards read or a deeper reading, your option is you can subscribe to my channel for 2 cards, and I read 2 cards today, and then anytime I see you live. I love this system, by the way. I feel like I'm getting to know my subscribers and what's going on with them and helping them in a much more profound way than when I just read like, here's what your person is thinking or saying today. So I am really loving this. I hope you all love it. It's been fun. And I think that since we're all in the collective, everybody's readings somehow seem relevant. Like, I'll listen to my YouTube videos later because I don't know what I say because I'm just channeling. And so I'll go listen to like the collective reading, and I'll find myself listening to the personal readings and getting a lot out of them for myself too, because I really resonate with the messages. You're welcome. So that's one way to get 2 cards read today, and you can ask me any question, or you can just ask for general. The other option you have is to go and click on my profile and choose Venmo, PayPal, or Cash App, and I will read for you a deeper reading, and I will pull oracles and tarot for you for that reading. So those are your options. So let's do Tanya's reading. 2 cards. The card I got for you guys. Okay. King of Cups. You're emotionally unavailable. Divine masculine energy. And the 2 of Wands. So similar weighting energy to the 2 of Swords. A little different because the 2 of Swords is avoiding making a decision. It's like, I don't want to make a choice. But the 2 of Wands is being very restless in the energy of waiting. So I do sense that you are still waiting for this masculine energy to open up. You know there are deep feelings, and you also are still pretty convinced that this energy is definitely a soulmate. Although I think there's a part of you that's like, I don't even know if that matters, but I know that that's still, this person is a soulmate for me. And you feel restless, and you know, this is the, I don't think, you know, people associate this card with twin flame energy all the time, but what's more important is that you associate it with the Mars and Aries energy that it possesses. Because Mars rules Aries. Like, Aries is ruled by that planet, and it's about aggression. So this card is extreme aggression, which is not something we think about. I have an Aries, Sun Aries, Moon sister with a Capricorn rising, and when she wants to do something, she does it. She will be restless until it is done. So that's the energy of this card. You've asked for something and you just feel that restlessness waiting for it to come. Now, that's like, you know, the masculine energy, or like the idea when it's expressed or reflected back to you outside of self. But let's look at this as something that's going on internally. What's going on internally then is you have something deeply emotional, probably creativity, and there is this feeling inside of really needing to get this out, really needing to express your creativity. And you maybe have only just dabbled in it, just kind of dipped your finger a little bit into it, or dipped your toe in, whatever you want to, analogy you want to use for it. But it's not something that you've allowed yourself to fully dive into. And your heart, your intuition, it's something that you would be very passionate about, and it is restless. It's like, when are you going to do this? When are you going to really do it? So I want you to, in order to take your focus off of, you know, the person outside of self, I want you to really go and look inside and see if there is a thing that you could really, really get into and develop. I'm doing the 30-day challenge for following our passions and creativity. So think about joining. It's not hard. It doesn't have to be intimidating. It's literally like, I want to pursue this passion, and every day I'm going to do one activity that is going to honor that. It could literally be reading a book about somebody who does that thing for their living, just to be inspired by that person. It could be doing an activity, like let's say you really wanted to be an artist. I'm not saying that that's what you wanted to do, but let's say you did want to really be an artist or something. It could be, you know, coloring in a coloring book, or drawing and doodling in a sketchbook, like for 15 minutes once a day for 30 days, and you can do a different thing every day. But just really starting to prioritize and choose the feminine energy. That is how we attract people into our lives who do the same thing. If you currently have a partner that doesn't prioritize you and doesn't choose you, and you identify in your feminine energy, that means that they're not valuing and prioritizing their emotions, their feelings, and they're not being creative about how to express those emotions and feelings. And so you've chosen your perfect match, right? And as you shift this energy, you either don't want that person anymore because they don't have the passion for life that you have, or that person starts to heal and do the same thing because they are that mirror reflection of you. So try that. I will be doing it too. So thank you, everybody that's here tonight. We got 17,000 likes. Okay. Y'all are having tired thumbs, I'm thinking. Thank you so much for that many likes. If you want your own reading, become a subscriber. There's a 1 month option, which means you pay $5.99 tonight. You get 2 cards read. And then anytime you see me live, which is I go live 6 days a week, for the next 30 days, you can ask a question, any question, and I will answer it for you when I'm doing personal readings. Or if I'm doing a themed day where I pull an oracle and a card, you will be included in that. You can also send $33 Venmo, PayPal, or Cash App to the link in my profile and ask a question, and I will answer with a deeper reading for you. Thank you. These are Warby Parker glasses. I need to get another pair. When I first bought them, I was like, okay, these glasses would have traumatized me as a child. I remember having to wear very large glasses and just being like, oh God, I don't want to wear these large plastic glasses. Okay. And now they're back in style. And when I bought them and put them on, I literally did have a moment of being like, huh. Now I'm very used to them. But the one drawback is I have cute cheeks, right? I know you want to pinch my cheeks. Well, these freaking cheeks are always getting on the bottom of these big ass glasses. So I'm kind of looking forward to when like the small glasses come back, because then I won't have like a constant like smudge on the bottom of my glasses. There's a lot of people here tonight. I did do a collective reading, and if you missed it, don't despair. I highly recommend watching it. It's going to be uploaded to YouTube later this evening, so it should definitely be available either before you go to bed or in the morning tomorrow. It was really good. I cried. So it was really good, and it was really inspiring, and it is kind of getting you into that 30-day challenge of finding what your passions are and pursuing them. I put a little note on my reading today, and that note said, if you are waiting for your person to come into union with you, but you don't follow your own passions and you don't like honor that creative energy within you, you're not going to come into union with your person anytime soon in a way that you're going to be able to stick together and really have a healthy foundation in relationship. Because if you don't prioritize your feminine energy, then the person you're focused on doesn't prioritize their feminine energy. It is almost unlikely that they would communicate with you. So if you're a person that's constantly getting those readings every single day on TikTok that are like, he's coming, he's coming, he's coming, he's coming, he's going to give you an offer, it's going to be so much abundance, it's going to be so fantastic, and you're like, literally, I've seen these readings for like 2 years, then you have to take that as a point of reflection and ask yourself, wait a minute, what is the thing that I have always wanted to do, that I feel passionate about, that I feel interested in, that I love, that I'm emotional about, that I am not doing? What is it? Because when you identify it and pursue it, then you are shifting your energy. And until you do that, you're just going to keep getting those readings. So if you're fucking annoyed by those readings, I don't blame you. And I'm offering you a really great solution, and it's not hard to do. I remember years ago, do you all remember Spark People? It came out like, I think it was like 2010-ish that I used it. It had a book, there was a website, and people, I think, used it for different things. It was for goal setting. A lot of people used it for weight loss. It had like weight tracking different stuff. And back in 2010, I used to still be part of diet culture. So definitely I joined it initially because of that. But one of the gifts that it gave me is that its whole philosophy was, it just takes a spark and a commitment to a consistent daily effort, and starting very small and trying to get a streak, okay? So the goal wouldn't be, I'm going to lose 10 pounds in 30 days. The goal would be, I'm going to drink water for 30 days. And then after you drink water for 30 days, the next goal is, I'm going to get a full serving of vegetables for 30 days. So now you've got the water habit down, and now you add the vegetables in. And then you're like, I'm going to do yoga, one pose for 30 days. And what usually happens is, after the first 5 to 10 days, that one habit becomes a little bit easier to do every day. And so let's say you started with one yoga pose. By the time you hit 10 days, you're probably doing more than one pose. You're already on the floor. You've already got your yoga mat out. You're already in your yoga clothes. Okay, now I'm going to do 2 yoga poses. Now I'm going to do 3. Now I'm going to follow a video of different yoga cycles that I can do and learn. And now I'm going to do the Tibetan rites. And now that's what happened for me. And it taught me that it was much more effective to approach things that way. And then later I tried the Whole30, and I was like, oh, Whole30, a lot like Spark People, because that also told you that if you could sustain and maintain something for 30 days, that it was always about your choices. It was about choosing to prioritize yourself, choosing to make a commitment, and keeping a commitment. So the 30-day challenge for creativity should not be as hard as a Whole30. Whole30, you have to like completely transform your eating for 30 days. It can be done, but it's very hard. This isn't completely transforming anything for 30 days. This is committing to one activity for 30 days. So become a part of that challenge. I think it will be fun. And as I've said to the people who are here before, if you complete the 30-day challenge, let me know at the end of January. So on February 1st, put a comment on a video, or hit me up in a live and say, hey, I did my 30-day challenge. I completed my 30-day challenge, and I will give you a code for 50% off of a personal reading, so that you can get a personal reading from me on my site for 50% off. Because it's like a gold star. You did good. So I will help you out. And it will help me out too. It will help support me too. So we will both win. All right. The other thing I want to say with everybody that's here is I'm doing something really fun, really exciting that might help you. If you're a person that doesn't know exactly what your passions are in order to even start that 30-day challenge, then what I would do is each day until this event on Saturday, I would just kind of ask yourself each day, what did I like to do when I was little? You know, do a little journaling about what you like to do. If you liked to play with your kitchen set when you were little and you just really loved the shit out of that, then go into your kitchen and make something and see if that feels good, you know? Or if you really loved to do art projects at school, then get yourself some art supplies. Like, listen, I'm an eternal child. I have colored pencils and markers and things within arm's reach so that I can go into my inner child energy and get creative. And, you know, start doing that. The event that I'm doing on Saturday, it's for whether or not, if you have your passions identified, great. If you don't, also great. Doesn't matter. The tickets are available on my site. There's room for 30 participants, and basically what we're going to be doing is having a virtual spa retreat. So I have designed a schedule that would be like if we were at a spa. I have created a menu with 3 different tracks. You can choose the one that's like your childhood memories and eat Fruit Loops for breakfast if you want. I just finished the menu today and I love it so much. It was really fun to make it. The second track of the menu is total relaxation. That's either you order in meals or you just do frozen stuff. And then there's a third track for foodies who like to cook that has like 3 kind of they're not horribly challenging recipes, but they're like a little more involved, and you'll learn a new skill and create a recipe. And the theme for the menu is all about vision. So I emphasize nutrition that has vitamin A and vitamin C and different nutrients, omega-3s, things that are good for your vision and also for your brain, so that you can think about what it is that you want to do, because the theme is envisioning your life. And the activities that we're going to do together in the morning, we're going to spend time releasing any energy that's blocking us, any past limiting beliefs that kind of convinced us that you can't have the life that you want. We'll spend the morning doing that. There's going to be a past life regression meditation. There will be a reading that I do called Obstacles Removed. There will be journaling that you can either do when you receive your welcome packet. You can do it before you get to the event so that you can just relax that day and kind of go over what you wrote, or you can journal that day if you like to, because you might be in a mindset where you want to journal. You can, after the morning release, we'll have a midday snack. There'll be a cleansing bath. We're going to make a shower, a sugar scrub together, designed by the crafty country witch, actually, Luna, who will be there. She'll be there at the event if you know who Luna is. And so we'll take a cleansing bath. We'll get all ready to come back recharged, and we will then do the rebuilding part of the day. And I will, actually, I said that wrong. We're going to do the Empress spread in the morning, the release spread, and then the Emperor spread in the afternoon. So we will then start envisioning the life that we desire. We are going to do vision boarding with Kylie from Kylie Whitespace here on TikTok and Instagram. She is an incredible, she does design for temporary installations. If you live in an apartment and you want to change your space but you don't want to get in trouble by your landlord, she has a lot of really awesome temporary design products. And in the welcome packet that I send you, there will be a video and some information on preparing your space so that you can feel like you're retreating into a sanctuary that day. So we'll get together, we'll do the vision boards, we'll set our intentions, we'll watch a movie together if you want to later that night, and then we'll go to bed, listen to a sound healing, and start the next day with the intentions we set for that morning. We will reconvene at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sunday and have our final parting words, talk about how the experience was for us. After that, I will give readings to anybody who wants a personal reading. I will be giving readings to you. You can sign up for it. It's really going to be fun. I'm very excited, and I hope that people do participate. If you don't participate, and if, I accounted for the possibility that people are not going to have extra money to spend. I kept the price very low. It's only $100 for the entire event. I mean, that's how much I charge for a personal reading. So to be able to spend the whole day working on all of that, with all of that, those skills that you're acquiring, is, to me, it's a high value. But if for some reason, people can't make the investment, I will pre-record everything, and then I will offer it as a self-guided 24-hour virtual retreat that you can do later for a reduced rate. So you could still participate in it if you cannot attend this Saturday. But please consider it. I'm excited about it. Based on the new direction my channel is going, which is helping people really figure out what they want to do, who they want to be. If you have been getting those readings about coming into union and nothing is happening, there's a reason, and it's not your person. The reason is how you're thinking, how you're approaching your life. And you can shift and change very quickly. It doesn't take much except for intention to get the energy to flow in the direction that you are wanting it to flow in. So it's definitely something to consider. Go check it out. Book your tickets today. I do recommend booking today because I'm going to be sending you the packet. There is a PDF of the book Creative Visualization, which is a book that we will use frequently that weekend. There'll even be a voluntary, an optional book discussion if you want to join in to talk about this book and the different ideas that it kind of inspired in you. And it's pretty simple. It's not a difficult read. It's definitely, you can glance through it in the next few days and be totally prepared for it next weekend. And also there is an anonymous option. So if you do not want to have video or audio or have to participate in discussions, you do not have to, because I really wanted to create a spa retreat. I wanted to give you the opportunity to just focus totally on yourself and just be relaxed. And if you have anxiety about participating in a group discussion, I don't want you to have to deal with that while you're on your retreat. So know that you can attend fully anonymous. I will be, once I send you the welcome packet, I will be sending you a personal message, you know, hey, it's me, Pearl. Are you wanting to be anonymous this weekend? We'll create a list of people who want us to remain anonymous. So we will not pressure you to participate in any way outside of, you know, just being able to attend the events if you want to. So I'm super stoked, and I really hope that people do join in. It's going to be a lot of fun. Okay. So I think I'm probably going to go, unless there's anybody who wants a deeper personal reading or who is planning to subscribe today for their 2-card reading. If there is no one who is going to do that, I will close with a few cards to close out today's reading, and thank my guides and angels for totally being here with me today. If you were here from the beginning of this reading, I just definitely one of those things where I'm like, I'm just channeling right now. And when I go back and watch this later, I will probably be shocked at how well it went. Blue Kitten, it's $33 for a reading. You can go to the link in my profile. There is a Venmo, PayPal, or Cash App there. Send $33 and I will go ahead and start your reading. Your other option is to become a subscriber. If you become a subscriber here on the channel, or if you become a member on my website for $5.55, you do have access to 2-card readings anytime that I go live. And I go live about 6 days a week. I have been sticking to this kind of 4 to 5 p.m. time. I think I'll keep that. It seems like a lot of people are online at that time, so I probably will be sticking to 4 p.m. from now on. If you're a follower who's kind of wondering, when is she going live? I think like 4 seems to be the sweet spot. There's a couple days a week where I might have to go a little bit later than that. But 4 p.m. seems to be about when I'm online each day. So that's Eastern Standard Time. And occasionally I will do later in the evening too, because I know I have some West Coast people that maybe need me to go a bit later on weeknights. So we'll find maybe Thursday nights or something. I'll plan on doing that, because that's kind of a busy day for me. So that might be better, but I'll figure it out. This is my year of I don't give a fuck, and I'm not going to be too strict about any kind of schedules, you know. It's difficult to find an experienced tarot reader that I feel good about. Oh yeah, I understand that. I only listen to a few readers now. But if you want to get a sense of my reading style without investing, one of the best ways to do that is to go to Tuned In Tarot YouTube. You can see 2-hour plus in-depth readings over there from going back for the last 3 years. And you can really get a sense of how I read. So I highly recommend that. And if you didn't see the collective reading from today, it will be posted there a bit later. All right, let's pull some cards for the closing messages for today. What do we need to know? What information is going to help the collective the most this evening? You're welcome. Thanks for being here, Blue Kitten. Okay. Do you know the if you build it they will come thing from that movie? I can't think of what it's like, a baseball movie. But then there's another movie where they spoof on that. So I always think if you build it they will come, and then I immediately think if you go there, take a jacket, because that was like the spoof like that they did on it later. So I conflate those two things, and I'm like, if you build it, take a jacket. Just it's dumb, I'm sorry. Okay, but if you build it, they will come. This is the Ace of Pentacles. Now, we talked about our creativity. We talked about what we need to do to step into that 30-day challenge at the very beginning of this reading. which is why I recommend you listen to it if you're going to participate in the 30-day challenge. I think that the first 5 cards that came out today are really going to help you. So definitely try to catch this later on YouTube. But this is the seed that is planted, right? This is the Ace of Pentacles. This is the promise of abundance and prosperity. You have to plant it to see it grow. You have to nurture it to see it produce fruit. And that the Ace of Pentacles to the Seven of Pentacles. Now, the Seven of Pentacles we associate with patience because it takes time for things to grow. But when you have done that, when you have put in the work, when you've nurtured it, I'm looking at this as like the end of 30 days. There's so many synchronicities in this reading today that I cannot even with you. I also want my followers to note right now, I want my subscribers who have stayed here for this whole reading, I want you to think back to the beginning of the reading when I got to the 3rd card and I started crying and I told you how afraid I was to change from doing divine masculine and feminine readings about relationships to doing readings about your passion and your creativity. And that I was afraid that people wouldn't come and that people wouldn't stay and that people wouldn't book readings and that people wouldn't, and I was afraid to do it. Now I want you to go and I want you to look at how many people are in this room right now, because you have been with me for the last few weeks and I have been reading at the same time every day with the same amount of energy and the same smile on my face and the same accuracy and the same amount of whatever energy I'm bringing right now. And this was what was it? 12 people, 15 people, 16 people, when this is how many people I used to have on a regular basis. And I want you to really wrap your brain around the fact that when you honor your feminine energy and you do what you're called to do and you nurture it and you trust in it and you have faith in it, there's 80 people in your room, right? And that's so profound. So for those of you that are going to start that challenge, the same thing is going to happen for you. When you plant the seed and you take the 30 days to water it and make sure it gets sunlight and, do all the things that you need to do, you know what you're going to get? The name of this deck is the Tarot of Mystical Moments. It's an incredibly beautiful deck. Astonishing. It has female and male kings, which I think is such a cool concept, but they missed the boat. They should have male and female queens as well. But female and male kings, which is a cool concept. But this is, remember, what did I say? You're not going to come into union, right? Until you know what your passion is and you pursue it. And look at what the last card is. It's the Four of Wands. It's literally the message that I put today on my video. And I wasn't lying about it. And even though I have known this for the last year, I have convinced myself somehow up until this point, up until this last month, I had convinced myself that I just needed to stick it out, that I just needed to wait, that I just needed to keep doing the same thing and it would get better, things would improve. And it didn't. It didn't improve. Things didn't get better. There wasn't more people coming to my room. There wasn't more people booking readings. It wasn't happening. There was no communication from my person. There was no movement from my person. It wasn't changing. It wasn't shifting. I don't even know what's going to happen now, but I know that I have made the right decision and I'm very excited to help you on your journey figure out what you love to do and how to make it happen. I'm a risk taker. I have always been a risk taker. And you can tell from the way that I spoke about it at the beginning of this reading that I wasn't without fear when I took this risk, right? It's very risky in the tarot community to stop reading about twin flame topics and to stop readings that are like, this is what your person's saying about you. This is what they're saying to their friends. It's risky to do that. You don't know if you're going to have as many people interested in what you're saying because most people get into tarot because of a relationship. But I think that most people will get out of tarot because they're sick of hearing about that relationship and not seeing any change. So I hope I can be the person who you come to for the change. And it's in the cards. So plant the seed, tend to it for 30 days, And let me know what happens on February 1st this year in terms of how you feel about coming into union inside of yourself. So I love you all. I'm so thankful for you. I appreciate you so much. Go check out all the links in my profile. And you know what? Do yourself a favor. Go look at my profile. Look at the little music note on the left side. Listen to that song. Go look it up on Spotify or Apple Music or whatever. I am a music producer. I am Pearl from Pearl in the Prayers, first and foremost, before I ever started doing tarot live. I did music for 10 years in Los Angeles. I worked with incredible artists. I produced artists. I have a very unique voice. And take that music that is in my profile and use it as a sound in your videos, please. Please. I would love to see that song get heard by people. I did not have the financial wherewithal to promote that track, but I released it anyway, and there's 4 more coming out with my EP in the coming months. So help me grow. I will be so grateful to you. I will appreciate it so much, and I think you'll like the song. One of my followers identified my genre because everybody's like, what genre are you? And I'm always like, I don't know. But I knew that someday someone would get it, and they did. My genre is future nostalgia. So listen to it. I think you'll immediately understand what that means. It's like, there's like a disco beat. There's like a saxophone in it, kind of like an SNL type thing. There's a choir of vocals. There's electronic sounds happening. All the vocals are mine. I wrote it. I produced it. I hired all the musicians and I paid for it. So I'm very, very proud of it. It's something else. So go check it out. Thank you so much, everybody. 25,000 likes. Unbelievable. I'm so happy for the subscribers that are here with me tonight that are like, I know I can feel you all rejoicing with me, because last night I told you I was like, I'm terrified to make this change, and the universe gave me the blessings, right? That we saw right in the beginning of the reading, that card that started making me crying. I guess I have my answer. So thanks so much, everybody. I will see you all tomorrow. I would guess that I will probably be on around this same time, 4 p.m., between 4 and like 7 p.m. tomorrow night as well. And I will be bringing some messages for you. I'm going to start writing a few new spreads that are focused more on our passions, creativity, and emotional availability, things that you need if you want to come into union. So look forward to that, and I will see you all tomorrow. Happy New Year, everybody, and thank you to all my subscribers and members. I love you so much, and I will definitely, I'm sure, be seeing you in my DMs later. You always sneak in at work. I love it. All right, bye, everybody. Take care.